Hey everybody. Fucking Dane. Ah. Hey everybody. Welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 260. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host
Dane Cody.
Dane. Cody and I get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and or whatever the hell we like. Primarily video games. How are you doing, fine sir?
I'm fine.
You're trucking, you're rolling with the punches in the 2020.
Yeah.
Like the rest of us.
Pretty much. What is time? What year is it? What even is happening?
Seriously, it's like almost July. It's been the longest year and the quickest year, all at the same time, and the worst year and the best year. It's a year.
Best, but something's
There's been
happening.
some good shit. I've had some good shit happen this year, but at the same time, it's hard to enjoy the good when there's so much shit going on right now. And it just doesn't stop. Like, it doesn't stop. 2020 is all about escalation and hold my beer.
2020 is like that shit thrower that you're just waiting for another piece to land in your face.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that wasn't bad enough. Oh, here's some more. Oh, it got in my mouth. It's in my mouth.
It's in my eyes. It's in my mouth. It's up my nose. Some of it's in my ear. Oh yeah,
that's the worst.
Yep. Went high hole.
Then you can't get it out, and you just smell it. Oh, it's the fucking worst. God damn it.
Especially with your fucking Vulcan nose.
Shut up, motherfucker. You know what they say about big noses, right?
Do you smell lots?
No, big. It's a family show.
It is?
Yes. Okay. I never swear on this podcast ever.
Only every week.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
This is an F-bomb safe zone.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, welcome everybody. Episode 260. If you've never been here before, we usually start off the show with the BS section, which we are knee-deep in. Get into some housekeeping. Our What You've Been Playing section, where Dane and I talk about the games we've been playing since last we chatted. Our news and stuff. News. Public service announcements, and our free-for-all section. And as you can see, I'm boring Dane to death as he yawns away there. God damn.
Yeah.
Housekeeping. Everybody, join the Discord server. Geekoholics.com/Discord. Do it. That's our online forum, chat, subreddit. Well, it's not really a subreddit, but we don't need a subreddit because Discord's good enough. That's where we hang out. It's where we chat. It's where we party up. Join it. It's good times. And the iOS, Android apps are pretty fun and really good. So do it. If you've been scared of Discord, stop being scared of Discord. It's awesome. It's how we record the show. It's how we do this video. It's through Discord. Other housekeeping. Wheel on my desk just broke. If anyone noticed the giant camera shake all of a sudden, it's like,
dude, what is going on over there today? Like,
everything's just
your arms falling down.
Apart. Like, I need a new desk. It's too much weight. I have like two 16:9 24-inch monitors on this like tiny, like, it's almost like a student school desk almost, and it's outgrown its usefulness. I need a new setup. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Housekeeping. We usually record this show live on Twitch Wednesday nights starting around 8 p.m. We are primarily a podcast first and foremost. We do not normally pay attention to the chat on Twitch, though sometimes I get distracted like a moth to a flame. But we do try to ignore that as we are trying to be on track and, focused. With me, it's a very hard thing. So, but yeah, if you want to see us live, twitch.tv/Geekoholics. Otherwise, obviously, find us where all podcasts are not sold, distributed. Anything else for housekeeping? No. Dane, shall we get into some what you've been playing?
What have you been playing?
Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
Oh, I don't care.
You beat Mark of the Ninja, I see.
I did.
Cool. Still like it? Didn't break? Didn't do anything stupid?
No, I actually thought that they did a good job of like ramping the difficulty in such a way that it didn't feel shitty, but it still felt like
Fair.
you were getting, yeah, like you were getting further into the game, and it was definitely more difficult, but it never felt like, I don't know, like some games it's like they're just like, oh, you're at the end of the game, we got to make it really fucking hard for no real reason at all, just because it's the end of the game. Like, I don't know. So I thought it was cool, like they made you use a lot of the sort of the tools and the stuff that they'd been teaching you the whole game. I thought they did a good job of kind of putting all of that in towards the end. Also, I really like the way that that game ends. There's a decision at the end, and it's cool. I think it was really well done. It's kind of like, yeah, I don't want to spoil it because like even though it's an older, it's an older game that came out years ago at this point, I still think it was cool. I didn't really like, there was little things here and there that I was kind of like, oh, I don't know, like this, like, am I? It makes you question, and then there's a decision at the end that you can make, which is cool.
I don't remember the end of that game. I know I beat
Yep.
it.
Yep, it's literally the last scene is like, what are you gonna do? It's pretty cool.
I'll have to go back and remind myself. When that game came out, I loved that game. So
Just such a lethargic, like it's just such a great. I don't know. It's just the way the controls are and the gameplay. Like honestly, one of the best stealth action games ever made. Period. Like honestly, hands down. Like especially 2D ones. Like I think
yeah,
it's rad.
for sure,
Um,
absolutely.
So I think it's like honestly, like I think it's worth a play. Um, one of the better games that I've played as of late for sure. So yeah, so I did finish it. I did start Desperados 3, which is a
Desperados,
Epic Game Store exclusive on PC. I
based on
don't
the '90s Desperados movie franchise.
know.
Oh,
Although that would be rad as hell. Um, I'm not sure if it's coming out on console. Let me double check real quick here. Uh,
what type of game is it?
I lied. It's coming to Steam. Oh, I love the stupid age gate. Hold on. I gotta say I was born in 1950 to view the page. Nope, it is not an Epic Game Store exclusive on PC. Forget that I said that. It is available on Steam and Epic Game Store.
Desperados is a real-time tactics video game developed by Mimi Games and published by THQ Nordic.
Yes, there is not many games made like this anymore. There was a time when I was a young pup where there was quite a few games like this that were getting made, and this reminds me heavily of, did you ever play any of the Commandos games? They made 3 of them. There's Commandos 1, 2, and 3.
No.
So these are like, how most games with this viewpoint, this is like kind of an isometric top, not really top down, but like that third sort of the kind of at an angle view. I don't want to call it isometric. I guess it's isometric. But essentially, like a lot of those types of games, they're turn-based. So it's like you've got your guys, and you tell them where to go, and then the enemy moves, and you do a turn, and so on and so forth. This is like all real time. So like you tell your guy, go over here and hide in these bushes, and then you can pause the gameplay if you want to like line up a couple of things to happen, and you can hit play, or you can completely play it real time. And it's cool. It's set in the old like Wild West. You play like this cowboy. I've only played the first like couple missions, so like the first tutorial, and then sort of the first real mission that you play afterwards. And yeah, you set you're telling your guy like you have go here, do this, but it's all done in real time, which is cool. And it's like it's kind of a stealth game where like if you're stupid and you just run out there guns blazing, it's you're gonna die. Like it's just that's all there is to it. They do a cool job of, they tell you like right in the tutorial, like, hey, save all the time, like quick save all the time, because you're gonna do some stupid decisions and you're gonna want to roll back. And so like they actually have a timer on that says like you haven't saved in one. As soon as it hits like a minute and a half, they're like, you haven't saved in a minute and a half. You should probably save, which is cool because it's like telling you like, hey, you should, you know. And it also is cool because it teaches you to try different things. Like, hey, that didn't work. I tried to kill that guy. I went loud when I shouldn't have. I need to come at this a different angle, right? So there's like objectives. You start off the map or you start off the level, and there's like, you know, like the first level, it's like you're on a train and the train stops, and you know your character, you jump off the train and you're like, what's going on? I need to figure out, you know, what stopped the train. And so like you kind of meet some people along the way. You get some you kind of get some other people in your party, and they have different things. So like one of the first characters you meet is a doctor, and he's got like a bag that's got, you know, he can help heal you, for example. And you can also use his bag to distract guards. So you can throw the bag and they'll see it and they'll be like, oh, what's that? And they'll come walking over and they'll open the bag, and there's like a concussion blast that'll like shoot them in the face, and you can use that as an opportunity to, you know, either throw a knife at him or, you know, kill him or sneak around him or whatever. But if you don't collect the bag after, then, you know, that's a problem. You can't use it again. So you can collect it. It's cool. It's really well done. They do a great job. You've got, it's like a good mix of sort of this tactical kind of gameplay mixed with like stealth. You know, you, like I said, you don't want to go loud all the time because you're gonna fucking die. Like
I'm watching the explanation trailer on YouTube right now. It's showing like hiding bodies and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, because if the enemies see the body, they're gonna come like try to look and like figure out what's going on. It's cool. It's really neat. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Like a lot more than I thought I would actually. Like I said, I played these types of games years ago. With the Commando series was one of my favorites, which is kind of similar, where you would have a team of commandos.
I remember that game.
Oh, sure. Now you do.
No, and I totally remember it now all of a sudden. Yeah. Is it the same guys? Sorry.
I don't know if it's. I don't believe it's the same guys.
I can really see the vibe now looking at the trailer. I'm like, oh yeah, this is like kind of like that game, but a freaking Wild West version.
It's cool. So like I said, like you've got your mission objectives. They're kind of there in the different missions, telling you kind of like, you know, roughly where you need to go, what you need to do. And it's kind of like a bit of a puzzle, a bit of a strategy, a bit of stealth. It's cool. I'm really enjoying it. Provided to me from the Epic Game Store, so I did not pay for it, but I am definitely enjoying it. So I will continue to play more of it. And then I've been making my way through Spider-Man and stuff, but I don't really have anything overly new to talk about. I had a game-breaking bug that almost turned real shitty for me.
I saw you post something about that.
Oh, so like I was in a mission. I started a mission. I got, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes. Like I got about halfway through the mission, and then I died. And when I respawned, I was inside a building, and like the building was clear. So I was like, oh, cool. So I like ran over towards like where the guys are, and they're shooting rockets at me and everything else, but they're just hitting the building, and like I'm not getting injured. I run up the wall inside the building, but I can't get out. I'm just like I'm trapped inside. So it's like being trapped in a glass house. It sucked real bad. I tried to closed and relaunched the game, and it literally, my quick save reloaded me back in there. I rebooted my PlayStation. Like I thought, you know, luckily I was actually in a mission, so I actually ended up being able to restart the mission, and that's what got me to, like, you know, once I restarted the mission, I was able to, you know, just not die there and finish the mission, and it hasn't been an issue. But which is funny because like I haven't really ran into any real bugs like that in that game, but that one was definitely, and it was real crappy because like I'd been doing a whole bunch of stuff, but none of it had felt big enough that I needed to like do a manual save. So I was sitting there going like, oh shit, if I have to go back to my manual save, like I'm like an hour and a half behind where I am right now. Like this is gonna suck real bad. Um, so yeah. But it got sorted and Spider-Man's still awesome. So I believe my game said I'm at 75% of the way through the campaign. So
Nice.
we will see how much longer I have. So
I just lost my outline. Here it is. It's back. I played some Ring Fit Adventure. I ordered that. It happened to be in stock, and I've been hearing lots of people say, "Yeah, it's great for exercise and this and that and blah blah
you
blah
don't look
blah."
swole at all.
What's that?
You haven't even been using it, clearly. You don't look swole at all.
I've used it twice. I just got it. I've used it every other day since I started on Sunday. So my schedule is just to do it.
Well, it's clearly not working. Crap.
Two sessions.
You don't look any different.
I'm not going to look swole. I'm going to look more trim, if anything. Ring Fit Adventure, provided by Cash Money from my wallet and online. I think I got it from Amazon. It's been in and out of stock. Like it's been out of stock for like months, apparently.
Yeah, because everybody's been stuck with COVID, and they're like, "Hey, it'd be really good if I could exercise at home."
Yeah, I saw it on stock, and I kept hearing positive things. Like, I guess I'll check this shit out. And I'm like, I've been real bad. I'm out of shape. Fucking everyone's out of shape right now, and I'm just like, ugh, so lazy and so hard to get motivated. I'm like, well, maybe if I make exercise a video game, I might do it. So, yeah, I've done it a couple times now. It's on the Switch. Uses like the tensor band. I don't know what they call it. Fucking ring that like has tension when you push it in or pull it out. And
it's
then
a Pilates ring.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And then you put a strap on your leg as well. And it's a third person kind of adventure exercise video game where you basically are jogging while holding the ring and doing like different exercises and poses, and none of this is playing for any audio listeners because I'm doing shit on stream. Or you're like pushing in, and it surprisingly takes a lot of strength to push that ring in, like, and hold it.
Push it real good.
Yeah. Dun 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 dun. Anyway, God damn it, got me off mentally off track there. The first day, it like kicked my butt because it gets you. Some of the exercises I was doing were squats, and like later that day, I'm like, wow, I really feel it in my thighs, and like I could feel it in my arms.
So you're gonna get that bubble butt, is what you're saying?
Yes, yeah, for all the ladies, because my chunky butt right now ain't doing it for nobody. But it's I bust a sweat, and it was kind of fun. They video game it like you're jogging through the level. You like you squeeze the ring to shoot like gusts of air out to collect coins. You pull it to suck coins, to suck items up. There's like some collectibles in the levels. You're running down a path. You're jumping over holes. You're having to run harder when you're in water or mud or on like conveyor belts that are trying to push you back. You get interrupted by enemies that fight you, and then you have to do exercises to damage them. So you choose from a bunch of different exercises, and each exercise does a certain amount of damage. And then there's an attack phase and like a defend phase, which is kind of neat. And then you progress through the level. You get to the end. Yay, you celebrate. You ran a kilometer and burnt so many calories, and you progress stage by stage, and then eventually you fight a big boss. I did the whole first world my first session, and then yesterday was my second session. I did the second world, which was seemed a lot longer than the first one.
Okay.
But yeah, it's great. I'm busting a sweat, man. Like I have the elliptical and I have weights, and we have like a kind of mini gym in our spare room, covered in dust.
Look at you, mister. Like I have a house and with rooms and stuff.
But like I haven't been using that. I haven't been using that shit. I used to get on the elliptical a lot, and my reward for doing the elliptical was watching Netflix. And this just seems a little more fun, and I like it. And I bust a sweat. It actually, I feel after the 2 times I've used it, I felt it. And apparently it progresses and gets more and more. It's training you up. So I'll stick with it. Try and do it every other day and see where we go. Better than doing nothing, because right now I got nothing. Like there's no soccer, there's no nothing, and just so this is the least active I've been like my entire life.
Yeah. Yeah. I probably should do something.
They have the jump fit. Apparently, they got some jump rope app that's free where you pretend to do jump ropes with the
Yeah, it looks
freaking
stupid.
with the Joy Cons. I was getting grief from the Discord saying, "Why'd you buy that Ring Fit? You've got a free version of it with the jump rope app." And I'm like, "Nah, I don't think it's the same." But
Right.
I heard that app was kind of funny. I did install it. I haven't played that though. And then I played some more Pokemon Isle of Armor DLC. It's good. It's short. I think I'm near the end of it.
Wow.
I've gotten the new legendary. I've gotten a bunch of new Pokemon. Really cool thing that they've done in this one was that you can actually feed this like soup to your. I think it's like a soup or mushroom. I don't know. If you go to a kitchen, talk to a guy, you need 3 of some special mushroom item, and then you can make any Pokemon that you have that can Gigantamax a Gigantamax Pokemon that you don't actually. So, for example, I got my shiny Charizard imported into the game from home that I used to have in Go.
Okay.
But because he was a Charizard from another game, he wasn't a Charizard I caught in a max raid battle in the new Pokemon Sword games. He
Sure.
wouldn't Gigantamax. He would Dynamax. Gigantamaxing and Dynamaxing is that like mode you've seen in the trailers or videos where they become gigantic, like like Godzilla-sized Pokemon that fight each other.
Is that like a Pokemon erection?
Yes, kinda, basically. Except for it's their whole body all at the same time.
I mean, like I said, like a Pokemon erection.
Um,
They get swole.
they get swole. But Pokemon that Gigantamax they have a new form, kind of like a Mega Evolution.
Yeah,
They
they
don't
do.
just look the same and are giant. They actually like totally change their appearance. And like Charizard's Gigantamax form looks really fucking badass, right?
Right.
Pikachu turns into like a gigantic fat Pikachu, which is like the old Pikachu, like from Gen 1 or from the card game.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny. Some of the Gigantamax forms are hilarious. Some of them literally turn into skyscrapers, whatever. They all have different forms. But in the first game before the expansion, you actually had to catch them to have a Gigantamax form Pokemon. You had to catch them in a raid. So that was up to RNG, what version of the game you had. You potentially don't have all the Gigantamax potential Pokemon. In this
Right.
one, you can, if it can Gigantamax, you basically give it this super whatever fucking shit this guy makes in the dojo, and then they can Gigantamax. So my shiny Charizard is now a shiny Gigantamax Charizard. What's up? It's cool.
Cool.
It's a little different, the Isle of Armor too, and that it's essentially like it's all like the wild zone. It's full like 3D, the entire region. It's
I
not
imagine it is the wild zone.
or wild area, whatever
Those
they
Gigantamax Pokemon running around.
whatever. In the first game, you would have the wild areas, which were the areas that were like kind of open world with Pokemon
So wait,
spawning.
you're feeding your Pokemon Viagra, getting them swole. All right. All
Yeah.
right.
But in the first game, you had like like there's sections that were like dungeony, like caves, and you had certain places you can go, and you couldn't control the camera, like
Right.
old school Pokemon games. And then you had the wild areas, which were all open world, but they were, they were gated areas. They weren't the whole game. The
Gotcha.
Isle of Armor island, the whole island is like the wild area. It's like open worldish. So
It's just a free for all.
yeah, with all little secrets and areas to explore and whatnot. It's pretty cool.
Everybody's Gigantamaxing and
Everyone's growing big. Yeah, it's
yo,
just
man,
fighting each other, getting
gotta
giant.
get swole.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it.
If there's a theme to our episode, apparently it's get swole.
Hell yeah. Speaking of Pokemon, this wonderful Pikachu you see over my shoulder was, there we go. Suck my thumb, Pikachu. Was sent to me from Clyde Guy. It was a surprise in the mail. I got a poster tube in the mail, and this thing's like, it's huge, as you can see. It's also like hard plastic. It's not like a poster material. And I couldn't get it out of the poster. It was so hard to get it out of the poster tube. Like, it was really hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, eventually I got it. I got it out, and it's pretty cool. It was a nice surprise. I chuckled, and it was a callback to one of our episodes a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Pokemon. And he was like, "How much you like Pikachu?" And I said, "I love Pikachu." And this was his little. He's like, "Oh, you love Pikachu? Here, I'm gonna send you this poster."
Nice.
And it's actually from when the Toys R Us is down in the States shut down.
Oh, okay.
That's where it came from. I guess it was some of their like video game section stuff. It's like super high quality. Like it's, as you can tell, it looks pretty nice.
Oh, for sure.
Anyway, thanks, Brian. With that being said, shall we get into our news and stuff? The news and stuff. Come and get it. Listen to all the news. There's lots of news. There's a lot of fucking news. Let's try not to diddle doddle, shall we?
Diddle doddle.
Cyberpunk.
Lollygag.
Lollygag. That's what I was trying to say. I don't know where diddle doddle came from. That's a new one. That's a, just,
I don't know if we should use it, to be honest.
That's what all the kids are saying. Just don't diddle doddle, motherfucker. What you doing over there? Diddle doddling?
Maybe that's what we shouldn't be doing.
You know me.
Right?
I like to diddle doddle. What was it again?
Lollygagging?
Lollygagging. That's fucking. Goddamn. What? That's so stupid. That is such a dumb fucking term. That's why I can't remember it, because it's fucking stupid.
By stupid, you mean awesome? Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Diddle doddle is awesome. It's way fucking better.
It sounds horribly inappropriate. Diddle doddle sounds like.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it like that, but now I'm like, okay, diddling, doddling, doing some shit.
We are lollygagging. For anybody out there,
lollygagging isn't much better. Or diddle doddly, lily, blah, blah, whatever. Fuck. Cyberpunk 2077 delayed again to November. This story from Eurogamer by Matt Wales. One day I really want to make you spit out that water. I will. There'll be mission accomplished. I'll throw the mic off the stand onto the floor, and then just like kill the stream, because that would be awesome.
Oh, all over my keyboard. Yeah, that'd be great.
For anyone, Dane was drinking water, so I just one day you're gonna spit it out.
Probably.
I'll be so happy.
Or it'll shoot up my nose.
Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed again and will now come to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC on the 19th of November. This marks the second delay for CD Projekt's highly anticipated open-world cyber thriller. It was initially due to arrive this April.
Sounds like a really good date that maybe next-gen consoles might be coming out around.
That's what everyone's alluding to, but saw its launch postponed to the 17th of September. In order to give the developer precious months, we need to make the game perfect. In a new statement announcing the game's freshly revised release date of the 19th of November, CD Projekt wrote, "Those of you who are familiar with the way we make games know that we won't ship something which is not ready. Ready when it's done is not just a phrase we say because it sounds right. It's something we live by, even when we know we'll take the heat for it. At the same time, we are fully aware that making such a decision costs us your trust, and trading trust for additional time is one of the hardest decisions a game developer can make. And despite we think it's the right decision for the game, we'd still like to apologize for making you wait longer. Our intention is to make Cyberpunk 2077 something that will stay with you for years to come. In the end, we hope you understand why we did what we did."
I mean, yeah. It also helps when you own a storefront, so you're not like hurting for money while you build this thing, right? So you can make sure that it's ready to go before you release it, which is smart. I mean, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, I can only imagine a game, if at least from what we've seen of this game already, and the depth and like just all of the systems and stuff like that, like I can't imagine like how brutal it's got to be to try and get the bugs. Like I'm just thinking back, like even just The Witcher 3, like how many bugs and how hard must it be to squash some of those for a game like that, you know what I mean? So polish it up.
I'm fine with it. Chat said, it gives more room for us to play freaking Avengers in September. So I'm
Yeah, and you
okay.
know
I'm
what?
okay
Like,
with that.
I know a lot of stuff has been moved or bumped or canceled or whatever this so far this year, and like I can honestly say, like, I have not at no point so far this year have I been like, oh my god, I'm thirsty for games. I need more games. Where's all the
Yeah,
games?
exactly.
Like, like I'm loving it right now. I've been playing some new stuff as it comes along, but
Yeah,
I've
you
also been
have.
like getting rid of my backlog. Like this is
Yeah,
awesome.
you've
Like
been real good this year. I've been
God.
terrible with starting and not finishing anything, but
So like I'm really appreciating sort of the cadence of the game industry as of right now. Like
I'm o-
so
I'm okay with it too. Because
yeah.
September was gonna suck. I was gonna have Destiny. Why God do I keep playing that? I don't fucking know. Um, Avengers,
This Avengers.
and then this, and it's just like, how the hell was I gonna balance these three games? Like these
Well,
three.
and then I'm sure that we're also gonna get other ones, right?
Yeah, we don't
I'm
know
sure
about
that
yet.
we right. Like, you know, Ubisoft hasn't had their press conference yet. Like there's lots of other games that we haven't heard
I
from.
see October for Valhalla. Ubisoft likes October for their stuff. I feel like they're gonna drop
Yeah,
AC in October. The new Call of Duty
could
is
be.
going to be early November. So yeah, I don't know, space the shit out, please. Thank you. This is good. Make it the best it can be. I'm happy with this. Another story from our public service announcements, but it ties into this. Um, the developer also offered a reminder that its postponed Night City Wire live stream will air tomorrow night, and that. I believe it's going to be some new gameplay reveal, some probably, I think, some developer chats as well. And I
Mm-hmm.
think they actually had some, I think they actually managed to put together a Cyberpunk preview event somewhere in the States. So there's probably going to be, I think there's going to be a bunch of preview coverage that comes out tomorrow night as well after the event. So I heard through the grapevine that some people were at the event, and that word on the street is prediction is going to be impressions are going to be quite positive. So I look
I
forward to that
also want to
stream.
point out while we're talking about all of this, it also ties in with our PSAs that CD Projekt Red, they own GOG. If anybody wasn't aware, they've just put up their Ultimate Red collection for sale, which includes pretty much every game they've ever made, which includes The Witcher, Witcher 2, Witcher 3, Thronebreaker, and The Witcher Adventures, as well as Cyberpunk 2077, all for $115 Canadian. So if you're looking to get Cyberpunk 2077 and all of the rest of their Witcher games and such, if you haven't played them, that's a pretty sweet deal.
I already got Cyberpunk right there
There you go.
on my
So,
Cyberpunk Xbox.
yeah, then you gotta play with a controller.
That's okay. The Night City Wire live stream is tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. British Standard Time.
It's like
And
the
if
worst
you're
time.
in Australia, then it's June 26th at 2 a.m. in the morning. Ah, take that, you fucker, Yuri. Ha, got him.
That's a worse time for me. Yeah.
2 a.m. That's not fun.
Yeah.
Or just
I
watch
mean,
it.
9 a.m. is not a great time for me either. It's like, hey, I've just
Yeah,
got to work.
same
I'm
here.
just out of
It's
my
like
morning meeting, and
I just got to run out to the van and grab something. Oh, you know what? Turns
for
out
an hour.
I forgot something back at the office. I'll be right back. It's gonna with traffic. It's probably gonna take me about an hour and a half, and I'll be back. But just don't worry about it. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Also, last week, EA Play 2020 happened. The story from VentureBeat. Everything announced at EA Play 2020. The story by Mike Minati. Apex Legends. Woo, yay! It's coming to Switch. It's also coming to Steam. So, and there's new shit coming to Apex. Surprise. There's some Sims 4 is coming to Steam. And that's available now.
In fact, it's available now.
Haze Light, is that what it is? Is a new game from Joseph, what's his name? Ferris, the Fuck the Oscars guy.
Yeah.
Lost in Random, some other little indie game. Rocket Arena, And then they finally showed some gameplay and broke down some stuff for Star Wars Squadrons, which definitely was the highlight of the whole event. And
Oh yeah, for
looks pretty fucking awesome. And it's coming out October 6th.
Yeah, I mean it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
it
looks awesome.
I mean, it's very much like one of those, like what you expect. You know, you play Rebel, you play Empire. There's the different ships. There's like it's very much a, you know, one of those. It looks cool.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Looks very cool.
And then they showed some Madden and next gen Madden and FIFA montage. Yay! They teased some Dragon Age and Battlefield, like, and the next game from Motive was like super mega pre-alpha shit, like not worth even freaking getting excited for.
They literally just had like a next gen tease. Like all they essentially did was say like, "Hey, we're making games for next gen. Don't worry. Here's little clips here and there from our studios. We're really excited about like what's gonna happen." Blah blah blah. Honestly, this felt a little bit like they got caught with their pants down in a weird way. Like, like it feels weird that they're like, I'm sure they're gonna have like a fucking Madden or a whatever sports title that I don't give a shit about as a launch title, but like I'm kind of surprised they don't have something like kind of coming out for launch. I don't know. It feels a little strange to me. Like
they got Squadrons.
But
that's not native. That's going to be cross-gen, you mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fairly standard when it comes to third-party like publishers, and
especially EA.
Yeah, it just felt like strange. Like I would have at least expected something from them to be like, and this is coming 2021, or like, you know what I mean? Like all
this stuff is so far off that they showed, and then they like ended it with, "Oh, Skate 4 is back. You hashtagged it into existence." Like.
Right, but again, that's going to be how many years away? Like,
they literally just said we're going to do Skate 4. They probably have started nothing on that game yet, besides deciding who's in charge.
Right.
Overall,
that's my understanding. It's super
I
early
thought the event. I didn't think they should have even. I don't think there was enough quality content to hype up this event like they did. It was well presented. Greg was on there hosting. It was awesome, but. They could have just done individual trailers for all this stuff randomly over the next few weeks, and they wouldn't have gotten any flack. But then I kind of feel like to hype it up, and really Squadrons was the star of the show. It was kind of light in content. It wasn't bad. It was just, like you said, like EA is just such an annualized like franchise house now. Like really, it's so obvious. Like
they have certain games that do well. But none of them are huge blockbusters.
Well, the sports games are. I disagree with you on that. But that's the thing, is like they don't do anything minus their safe bets.
Outside of those, though, right? Like, and it feels like it's catching up to them now.
All they do is FIFA and Madden, FIFA and Madden. And then they might luck out and have a Fallen Order one year, you know? But for the most part, they're usually catching shit for wrecking franchises that everyone loves, right? Like Battlefield, or they're not delivering the games people want, like with Battlefront 2. Yeah, EA is in a weird fucking place for sure. It sucks. I was
time to announce the Titanfall 3 coming to next gen.
I was a little disappointed to, I love Squadrons. I'm super stoked for it, but overall, I was looking for more unique new stuff from EA. I'm really, I want EA to have like this turnaround moment where they're not seen as the bad guy anymore. Like Activision has taken a lot of that heat lately, but Activision's got like one of the biggest best-selling games right now. So, and EA has really just pissed people off with loot boxes and card packs and all kinds of bullshit, and lost a lot of hearts and minds of gamers, right? Besides the ones they prey on.
It's true.
Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, was announced with the trailer. The worst kept secret this past week, leaked out over the weekend.
Hey man, I've been wondering what Toys for Bob's been up to for the last several years. My wife's been hoping it was a new Skylanders game, and now
I think the Toys to Life category is dead.
I think you're not wrong, unfortunately.
What they should do is get the Toys for Bob guys to make a Skylanders-esque game with the amiibo. Do it. Oh, never gonna happen. It looks all right. I've never cared for Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot fans were excited.
I'm excited. It looks like a
I'm-
good like we don't get very many like good platformers
But
anymore.
it's like
So
a weird platformer. It's like a
to have like
it's like a hallway platformer.
they're like the later game like that was especially true the first like two
This one
games
looked like you
pretty
were running
heavily.
towards the
Yeah, there's
from the
definitely
camera and
levels.
towards the camera.
Yeah, there's levels like that. There's also levels that are a lot more open and stuff. The third game was like a lot more of a like a platformer and stuff. They're fun.
I really didn't see any of that in this trailer.
Oh yeah, they were even talking about it that there's
okay.
like oh yeah.
So then they were just showing like classic Crash Bandicoot gameplay to hype the biggest fans.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll see. I honestly, Crash never did it for me. Crash came out when I was like in college and like kind of out of the platformers. Like, you know, I've regressed as I've gotten older. Like now that I'm 13 again mentally, but when I was in college, like Crash was like a kiddie game, and I just didn't care. I was beyond that type of game.
It was like I mean at the time it was like incredible for
it looks cool
for like the original PlayStation and stuff. Like it was like whoa,
I am
you know.
happy for the fans.
It's like light. It's like it just looks fun, and I like the art style and Toy Story.
And the remaster trilogy. The remaster trilogy was like really well received too. Like it was huge for Activision last year.
And I mean, they're the guys that did the Spyro remake as well, so they know.
This next story from IGN: Guinness World Records reinstates Pac-Man and Donkey Kong records. Guinness World Records has reinstated 5 records set by Billy Mitchell, which had previously been disqualified due to a belief that they had been achieved on an emulator. In light of compelling new evidence received by Guinness World Records, the records management team has unanimously decided to reverse decision made in April 2018 in regards to video game high scores achieved by Billy Mitchell between 1982 and 2010. Guinness World Records said in a statement. In a new video statement, Guinness World Records editor-in-chief Craig Glenday explained that the new evidence comes in the form of new eyewitness accounts, expert gameplay analysis, and hardware verification. The team's conclusion was that the evidence did not support the conclusions made in April 2018 that Mitchell had achieved the records using emulation instead of arcade machines. As such, all 5 records have been restored. Wow. Mitchell is famously known as a douchebag who wears American flag ties, is an asshole, and threatens everyone with lawsuits, and is an overall dickhead. Oh, that was just me. That was just
hot sauce company.
That was me just adding that in. Sorry, that wasn't part of the story. Well, I guess good for him if he was able to freaking fake it well enough to prove that he's really good at cheating. Or maybe he redid the records. I don't fucking know.
Apparently, like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I could care less, really. But
I could care less as well. It's interesting that I don't know. Apparently, Twin Galaxies has not reinstated his records, and this is just Guinness. So I'm sure this will not be the last time we hear of overall famous douchebag. You know.
Oh, I'm sure that's not the end of it,
Mitchell. But on the plus side, Steve Wiebe is apparently coming back to try and retrieve the Donkey Kong high scores. So let's wish him luck, because he's not an asshole or a cheater. That's the thing. Like everyone who analyzed the footage said the stuff that had been done was like not the way the real hardware could do it. It's like I wonder what evidence he came with. Like in light of new, what's the evidence? Tell us what the evidence is.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's what makes it sound.
I hate it when they do that.
This sounds really weird and fishy. Is it like reinstate my scores, or I'm going to take you to court and you're going to lose because of some weird thing that he like some weird kind of blackmail going on? Because this is the type of guy this fucking dude is. Like that's just okay. What's it? Show us the evidence. Put it on the internet. Let us all see it.
Yeah.
Like let's be honest. Like he is the type of guy that any eyewitnesses he has would be people that he would just threaten and to say, yeah, you're my eyewitness, right? I did it, right? Yeah, he did it. He totally did it. I witnessed the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like he's that kind of manipulative person that he would force fucking people to be eyewitnesses for him. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Time will tell.
And he's kind of, I don't know, whatever. Douchebag. Moving along. Is RockSteady working on a Suicide Squad game? I sure as hell hope not. I mean, what? That wasn't part of the story. This story from Tech Raider by Vic Hood. Sounds like a DC fucking villain.
I know, right?
This
comes via leaked domain names, and apparently it has since been confirmed that these domain names were in fact purchased by Warner Brothers. Apparently the domain names that were purchased were Suicide Squad, KillTheJusticeLeague.com, SuicideSquadGame.com, and GothamKnightsGame.com. According to a report by Eurogamer, a Suicide Squad game is in the works at RockSteady, with Suicide Squad KillTheJusticeLeague.com being considered as a game's final title, which personally I feel like is a terrible name, but whatever. In addition, Gotham Knights reportedly refers to the unannounced Batman game currently in development at Warner Brothers Montreal that they apparently started teasing 6 months ago and then forgot to finish the tease.
They forgot the assets of the office and everyone's at home.
I don't fucking know. It's so annoying the way they've teased that thing. Anyways, according to the report, both games will be teased during the upcoming virtual DC Fandom event in August. So we'll see more. Apparently, they're both due to be teased in a while.
So we'll finally see our Court of Owls game. And man, I would have.
I don't know.
Rather seen a Justice League game, like the Suicide Squad. Like besides Harley, she's cool, but she's not a superhero.
Well, I mean,
she's just a brawler. Like I want to play as superheroes, not as.
I mean, the Suicide Squad's got some cool characters, and it's kind of neat that you're playing as like the quote unquote bad guys. Like there's cool things they could do with it. I worry that there's going to be some sort of like. I'm hoping that they're going to be standalone, like they're going to be their own thing, like not tied into the cinematic universe or anything like that. Just because, like, I don't know. Not what I was hoping for. I mean, what I was hoping for though is a fucking Batman Beyond game by RockSteady. So, which I just have to realize that I'm probably never going to get. So, whatever. But yeah, I mean. I don't know. Maybe they were working on a Justice League game and then they realized Superman's really hard to make into a fucking game. Like, I don't know. But curious if it does actually come about. And who knows? Maybe this is the red herring, right? Get everybody to look over here while you do this stuff over here.
Yeah. Recurring members of the Suicide Squad include Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, Enchantress, Harley Quinn, Katana, and Killer Croc.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's RockSteady. Like RockSteady makes fucking dope games, so maybe they're gonna make us look like assholes for.
I gotta have faith, right? I gotta have faith.
Dun, dun,
maybe it's a game that I don't know I want, right? Maybe I'll see it and I'll be like, "Fuck, that looks awesome." Apparently, it's the game that I didn't think I wanted, but now I know I would need.
Yeah, and I'm a douchebag.
Or maybe it'll just be the thing that I didn't want and I still don't want it. I don't know.
This we'll see. Next story from Engadget. Apple ditches Intel for its own processors in Macs.
Oh, yeah.
This is part of WWDC, World War DC. No, Worldwide Developers Conference.
Yeah, Apple had their big press conference on like Monday there.
They went all geeky about features in iOS and Mac OS and
software. They announced a ton of stuff, which I wasn't about to get
hardware.
Into all of it. No, they talked about a lot of hardware, but they didn't show.
There was no new hardware.
It's all software. They didn't announce anything new, except for this. So starting essentially now. And over the next 2 years, Apple is going to be moving away from Intel and x86 and moving entirely to ARM processors built by them. Well, designed by them, I should say, because they're being built by TSMC. But so starting with the new OS, which I think has the dumbest fucking name in the world. Big Sur.
Is that another mountain range?
Which actually, funny enough, this is actually this is the official Mac OS 11. so it's no longer Mac OS 10. Uh,
Oh
it's
yeah,
as
it's
big
been 10
because
for a long time.
yeah, it's been 10 since 2000. So it's been
So these new
10.
processors, Dane, is
Hmm.
this a smart move or is this a dumb move? Like, are they shooting themselves in the foot? Is there some potential here? Like, to me, I thought ARM was always like, portable
They're,
devices, good on
they're
battery
what's in your
life, like
Yep.
not power, like not powerhouses. I wouldn't think of an ARM processor as being something that I'm going to be running my super high end video editing Mac PC with.
So you also have to remember that part of the reason why that is because pretty much everybody builds software for
X86.
x86. The other thing is that like your cell phone and those devices, your tablet and so on and so forth, are extremely power limited. So like what people don't realize is that if most of the time you're the processor in your cell phone uses like 2 watts, maybe 5 watts of power. Um, Whereas the processor in your computer uses 130 watts of power, or 65 watts of power, or 100 watts of power, or 300 watts. Like, you know what I mean? They're significantly higher. So when you take an ARM processor and you actually ramp them up to a similar performance, it has the potential to be very fast. The thing is that now everybody that builds software for your computer has to build software for your computer. We're gonna start. This is them transitioning back into, instead of everybody being able to build software. Like, obviously, there's differences between Mac and PC right now. Just the way the operating systems are. One is Unix based, one is Microsoft based,
It's going to be
etc.,
like
etc.
Power PC days all over again.
But that's the thing, is that at the base you could recompile your code for one or the other, and generally speaking, it was a lot more streamlined now to release stuff on Apple, because they're both underlying using the same processors and the same architecture underneath. And so now they're cutting away from that and going back to kind of quote unquote doing their own thing. And it's actually funny because in a lot of ways, Power PC processors aren't that far off. An ARM processor is what we call a RISC processor. And I'll spare you all of the details, but a Power PC processor and an ARM processor are both RISC processors. They both function very similarly. Um, so it's weird. I think I understand, partly because Intel has stagnated so hard over the last 4 or 5 years here.
Yeah.
And Apple feels, especially right now with their 10th generation, they're way too hot. They're sucking way too much energy for the type of performance that they're getting out of them. And they're seeing incredible things out of their new their A13 and the upcoming A14 processor that's going to be in the upcoming iPad and iPhones. They're seeing incredible performance out of them, honestly. And if you were to take the shackles off from a power perspective and give them, some actual juice, there's a good chance that if you're building things, like there's a good possibility that we'll see some pretty decent performance out of them. But there's going to be a really messy 2-year period where your software may or may not work, or it's going to work, but it's going to run slow because it's going to have to run through their,
The
what are they
converter,
calling it?
basically.
Essentially it's like there's going to be an emulation error,
Yeah.
like layer for all the stuff that
It's
doesn't,
going to
because like
make
that's
convert it
right. It's a lot
from
of,
from x86 to RISC, and then
yep.
it's not going
So
to be
there's
as
going to be
efficient
Rosetta
as
2.
running it natively.
So there's going to be a Rosetta 2 layer, which is the same thing
Yeah.
that they used back in 2000 when they moved over. They used Rosetta, and it was like a emulation layer to help Power PC stuff still run on your Intel processors. But they're hoping to essentially switch this over in about 2 years. So for me at my job, this is going to be a fucking headache and a nightmare, because
It's going to break a
I'm
bunch
gonna,
of shit.
yeah, and in a year from now, I'm gonna have this horrible mix of like, well, we need to now buy new Macs, and like, oh shit, well, we're gonna have to buy ARM Macs. Well, half of our programs aren't working on ARM yet, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
It's
like
gonna
some
be
of
a
your
nightmare.
enterprise solutions probably won't even be there day and date. Yeah.
Oh no, and on
But the
top of
boss
that,
in the office went out and bought the new one because he wanted the new and shiny, and now he broke everything that doesn't work on his new machine because he's impatient and wants to have the new one.
yeah,
Yeah, that sounds like fun. I
Or
wish I wish them luck. Hopefully, it pushes
yeah.
shit forward and gets Intel to
Yeah.
get off their fucking lazy ass.
Well,
And
I mean, AMD's already done that to them, so
yeah,
they're
but more competition, even more.
yep.
More.
It's I I don't honestly see it as a good thing. I think that we're going to see a whole bunch of people stop producing stuff on the desktop side
Yeah,
of Apple.
I feel like Mac's going to go back to how it was. It's going to be redheaded stepchild, and it's going to lose a lot of apps and support.
So the one difference between then and now is the iPhone. So this is the one
That's
benefit.
true.
So this is the one benefit now is that because the iPhone and the iPad will be running the same underlying architecture as the Macs,
You'll be able to move
you're
stuff
actually going to
back
be
and
able
forth
to
between all of them so easily.
run all those apps on your computer.
Yeah, natively.
Yep.
Which
So
they currently don't have. Like macOS doesn't just run iPhone and iPad apps.
no, and
Which
neither
is so
does
strange. You would think it would.
no. Again, have to be through emulation, right?
Yeah,
Through
but
ARM.
even through emulation, if you had access to some of your apps that you have on your phone, just for data wise across multiple platforms, it'd still be pretty cool. But I guess that's the end goal, right? It's really unifying all their stuff too, right?
Yeah, that's
And
the thing,
and
right?
bringing it in house.
So I think that's the one big thing that they didn't have back in the day. So now they've got literally thousands of developers worldwide building apps for their ecosystem, and now they're just going to shift all that
Now
to
it's a
be
desktop
able
app instantly, like bloop.
exactly. Now
Yeah,
you can
maybe it's
just
not
sell
that
that to
bad.
desktop users. So we'll see.
I was kind of disappointed. I was expecting some kind of new hardware, something neat. Apparently, they changed. I heard from a Mac leaker that they changed their plans last minute. They were going to announce some new hardware, whether it be a new iPad or the rumor was iPads. Then they
I
pulled
mean, they still got their event in September, right? So
yeah. Anyway,
which
moving
be
along.
their iPhone and stuff. But
Apple's
it's big. Like this is a big move. It's
Yeah.
gonna have far-reaching, especially in the PC world. Like that's kind of one of the things. Like you don't see Microsoft being like, yeah, we're just gonna stop supporting Intel and AMD processors, and we're gonna move entirely to like it's a very Apple thing to do. This is very much the like fuck them kind of like, you know what I mean? Like down the road in 5 years from now, they're just gonna be like, well, shit, you still got an Intel Mac? Not our fucking problem. Like we've moved on, bitches. So, yeah,
good for them. Next story.
be interesting.
Facebook acquires Ready at Dawn. Oculus parent
sucky
picks up Lone Echo franchise studio to work on VR content. Facebook continues to add VR developers to its stable of Oculus studios as the company today announced the acquisition of Ready at Dawn. Having shipped titles to multiple platforms in the past, Ready at Dawn is a veteran game developer with some serious chops as well as a VR pioneer. Facebook Vice President of AR VR content, Mike Verdu, said in a blog post announcing the acquisition. He added, in addition to setting the bar for narrative VR experiences, Lone Echo rewrote the playbook for VR movement mechanics with the debut of Ready at Dawn's signature innovative continuous locomotion system and full body inverse kinematics. The zero-G mechanic is used throughout the Echo Games franchise and lends itself well to VR beginners and competitive VR esports alike. Gobbly-goopity-doo.
Let's be honest. Is there really a competitive VR esports?
Oh, there is, because some executives said there is a competitive VR esports. It's the hottest thing on Twitch and Facebook and Mixer.
Look, man, I'm super disappointed by this because I was hoping that we were going to see
Order 2
next year. I was totally hoping we were going to get a sequel to The Order because that game ended in just such an awesome, like, hey, we want to give you more of this, but we weren't able to.
I did like the ending of that, and I was looking forward to a sequel. It wasn't the best game, it wasn't the worst game, but it was a good start, Like
I loved for me, it was the universe. Like,
yeah,
it was such
they did a cool job world building, yeah.
And I wanted more in that universe, and to now hear that obviously that's not gonna happen is shitty.
This next story from Eurogamer, Martin Robinson. Wow, I've never read that name. He must be new. Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon is getting a sequel. A
No surprise there.
super successful game gets a sequel. Surprise? Maybe not. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, the 8-bit styled action game from Inti Creates that acted as a curtain raiser for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, is getting a sequel soon. What? Curse of the Moon? Oh, Curse of the Moon. This isn't.
Yeah, that was their
That was their
no,
NES game. That's
yeah,
right.
that was the 8-bit style game that they did.
The announcement was made this afternoon at NGPX Showcase and presented by none other than Koji Igarashi himself. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 follows on a similar style from the original, presenting action with more than a hint of Castlevania 3 to it all. And this time out, it boasts 3 new playable characters. Does it say when it's coming? Release date pinned, tantalizing soon. I really liked Curse of the Moon. That was a great game. I got it on Switch.
Yeah, you played through it. You beat it.
I beat both the Bloodstains. I would definitely like to play more Bloodstain. I don't know why, but stupid freaking Chrome, my media controls don't show up anymore. So,
oh man,
stupid Chrome. Anyway, yeah,
I'm sure we're gonna get a sequel to Bloodstained.
Oh, of course we are. Speaking of Bloodstained, they've added the Zangetsu and some of the new characters and modes that I should go back and check that out. Dominique, look at you, Dominique. Sorry, just watching the trailer. Moving along, Marvel's Avengers trailer provides a look at co-op, customization, and hero missions. That was today. It's Crystal Dynamics, right?
It is.
This story from VG247 by Stephanie Nanale. A new look at Marvel's Avengers came today and included information on the story, hero missions, customization, and co-op. 3 different looks. More information dropped today from Marvel's Avengers during a presentation. First trailer showed the story, which features Kamala Khan, the aftermath of A-Day. She's come to know of a conspiracy involving AIM and is trying to reassemble the Avengers. Here, an enemy called MODOK has surfaced. The character dates back to more than 50 years in Marvel history. He can control machines with his mind and is the overlord of AIM, the science-based organization which has outlawed superheroes. Along with MODOK, a Thor hero mission once called Once an Avenger was shown. They got a spelling mistake in there, which is kind of weird. Was shown in the second trailer. Hero missions are single player. Will focus on a single hero. The one starring Shore. Hi, I'm Shore. Thor showed off his moves such as manual targeting, which allows you to mark enemies with a bullseye, ground pound, hammer spin, and throw in your hammer. Heroes have 3 different heroics: assault, support, and ultimates. As heroes gain experience, they'll earn points that will allow you to build up your hero. This will also allow you to customize your hero, which will allow you to have your own playable version of the hero, which may be different from another's. Each hero has a combo system, heroic moves, and intrinsic ability and signature move sets to unlock and customize. Customization also includes dozens of outfits that can be earned through play, and they will span the 80-year history of the comics. Some require the completion of missions, and some will only be available through the online marketplace. The stream also revealed more of the game's world, from AIM research facilities to derelict helicarrier, all of which can be explored by players to earn new rewards, gear, and experience points. A third trailer showed co-op and war zones. These can play either solo with AI heroes or in co-op groups of up to 4. The game is due out September 4th, and more information on the game and a reveal of the first post-launch hero will be provided at a later date. It will also be made playable on PS5 and Xbox Series X as a free upgrade, actually, from the PS4, Xbox One versions. They also said that was said before this. Looks cool. Game looks neat. I'm definitely going to play this game.
I'm excited. I'm really curious. Like after what we played and
the stuff they showed today looked really cool. Who's the first post-launch hero? So will that be like right at launch or like shortly after launch?
I mean, I guess technically the day after or even the day of is technically post-launch.
So we all know you're going to be able to play as fucking Captain America because it's bullshit that he's dead. So who's the next character? Who's your guess? Spider-Man from Insomniac. Oh wait, no, they can't.
They've announced. Obviously, they've announced Kamala Khan.
Have they announced anyone else? Have they alluded to anyone else? don't think they
I
have.
mean, they've already showed off that like sorry, Captain America. I mean, you play part of the demo as him. So I mean, they like that part of it is kind of already. It's not really a secret. I'm not sure. I mean,
Excuse
you've
me.
got Hulk. You got the Avengers. I mean, there's so many characters they could pull in. I mean, Ant-Man to me would make sense. Or if you pulled in the Wasp, those would also make sense. I think
Who do you
pulling in,
want, Dane? If you had to
I
pick
want
one character, one
if I had to
Marvel
pick one.
character, just
Uh,
one.
I mean, it would be Spider-Man, but he's not going to be in this game because he's not. But if I had to pick a second one, it would be Doctor Strange. I
That'd be
would love
pretty
to see
cool.
Doctor Strange in that game. He was one of my favorite characters in the last Marvel Ultimate game that is now dead. That I wish was not dead. I'd love to see him in a game. It'd be great. He can fly. He's got all his cool powers, and he's a badass. So,
Do you think they can't do Spider-Man because Sony has some deal with Insomniac, or because of movie rights, or some other reason?
Sony owns all interactive media rights for Spider-Man.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So that's why, yeah, no, like quick history lesson. Back in the 90s, Marvel was just about bankrupt. And I mean, they were hanging on by their little pinky threads. Like, they were like, ah.
We're gonna
And
go out of
so,
business. We're fucked.
yeah, so they went and made a whole bunch of Hail Mary deals with a whole bunch of people for properties. And Sony came along and they like essentially bought all interactive media rights to Spider-Man and the Spider-Man like universe. So the villains, Doc Ock, etc., the Rhino, blah blah blah, and that included movie, cartoon, and all of those rights. And they're essentially, and the thing is it wasn't a timed deal; it was a for perpetuity. So they essentially own them for as long as they want to own them, which is and unfortunately Marvel made several deals like that, which is why the Hulk is actually as a standalone character is actually owned by Universal, and they can't use. That's why we haven't seen an Incredible Hulk movie in since essentially the Avengers and stuff. So the Hulk is able to be used as a side character, as a supporting character, blah blah blah, in all of these things, but he's not able to be the single film or single property unless Universal is involved. And unfortunately, right now, Marvel and Disney and Universal, the best of friends. So there's a weirdness there, which is why we've not seen another Incredible Hulk film. They sort of tried to tie that first Incredible Hulk film into the larger, Avengers and like the whole MCU, and then things kind of went sideways with Universal, and that's kind of been that. Just like what we saw with the X-Men, that was all purchased by Fox back during this whole sale. That's why literally Disney ended up buying Fox to essentially buy their property back so that they could actually make X-Men movies and use the X-Men and everything to do with X-Men in the actual MCU and in their video games and so on and so forth. And that's why all of that has happened. So, which is why we're not going to see, like I said, unless they make some sort of a deal with Sony, they're not going to see a Spider-Man. It wouldn't surprise me if they talk to Sony and they license Spider-Man into this at some point. But with Sony building their own Spider-Man games, who knows, right? But it wouldn't surprise me to see him show up down the road.
Also, this being multi-platform, I guess that complicates things.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, like Sony's really just licensing Crystal Dynamics and SquareSoft the right to use Spider-Man in their game, right? And after that, it's really not that difficult. But I mean, obviously, that's why we're seeing Spider-Man as a Sony property, being released as a game being built by Insomniac for Sony exclusively. Because why wouldn't you, right? If you own the property, fuck, why not? So, but yeah, that's
I
a little
think
history.
I think Wolverine would be cool. It'll never
Yeah.
happen, but that would be cool.
I mean, they're gonna. It wouldn't surprise me to see them start pulling in some of those properties now that they own them. Why not, right? Fill out that. You know, I'd like to see some of the Inhumans and stuff showing up in it as well. Like Medusa would be a dope character to bring into an Avengers game like that. Um, with her hair and everything else, like that'd be cool. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like they've got years of content. Sort of planned out, at least when we talk to them, assuming this game doesn't like hit the ground and crash and burn real hard.
I don't think it
So
will.
I don't think it will either.
I
I'm
think this
just
is
saying.
going to
Right?
be the Avengers version of Destiny. This is going to be an ongoing thing for quite a while.
Yeah.
We just
I mean,
fingers crossed it ain't going to be an Anthem.
Yeah. I doubt it, but
No. Yeah, I doubt it.
you
Too.
know,
Rogue. Its next story, Rogue Legacy 2, launches in early access July 22nd on Steam. This story from Gamatsu by Saul Romano. Rogue Legacy 2 will launch in early access for PC via Steam and the Epic Games Store on July 23rd. Developer Cellar Door Games announced the early access version will feature a complete game loop, 2 biomes of the 5 to 7 planned for full release, 700 plus random rooms, 4 character classes of the at least 12 planned for the full release, 35 traits, 25 upgradable skills, 5 equipment sets with 25 pieces of equipment of the 15 sets, and 75 pieces planned for the full game, 10 runes, 15 enemies, 1 boss, 7 unique relics.
oh, it's way bigger.
Yeah. Rogue Legacy was dope. I love that game.
I like the new art style. Like it's a little cleaner, a little crisper. I like that a lot.
Yeah, hand drawn, cartoony animated, whereas the original was
Pixel art.
pixel art. I love the first one. I played the hell out of it on Vita. I beat the shit out of that game. It was a lot of fun. It was like one of my favorite roguelikes because the whole fact that when you died, you carried stuff over. You kept getting better. I think they did it best, and most games kind of stole from them in that mechanic of not just random restart, get to the end of the game, and you lose everything. You got more powerful, which allowed you to get farther and farther with every subsequent playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really like that game.
It's a good game. That's cool. It's exciting.
I look forward to that. Too bad it wasn't on Switch. Fortnite holds its first movie night. This story from Eurogamer from Tom Phillips. Cinemas will be set to reopen soon in England, but Fortnite is screening a Christopher Nolan classic in-game this weekend for you to enjoy at home. The Battle Royale game's Hangout Party Royale mode will screen one of 3 Nolan films this Friday, June 26th, depending on which region you live in. Here in the UK, we get The Prestige, showing it whatever time.
Oh,
the US gets Inception, while elsewhere gets Batman Begins. To find out what's showing in your country, Epic's Party Royale site has the full details.
So, what do you think we get? Are we looped into the? Oh, look at this country.
We get Inception. I just read that.
No, we get The Prestige.
What? It says the U.S. gets Inception.
We're not the U.S. If you go to their website, you go to the bottom and you put your country in, it tells you which movie. So Friday, June 26th at 9 a.m., they're playing The Prestige in game.
Never mind. What fucking planet am I on?
Good thing one of us is reading the instructions.
We're not in the U.S. Why did I think I just assume U.S. and Canada. We just get the same shit as them.
We get The Prestige. I mean, they're both great movies, so either way. But that's cool. That's a neat idea. If I wasn't at work, that would be cool.
Am I gonna watch a movie in Fortnite? Probably not.
I think it'd be kind of fun.
This next story, we're not really gonna go into, but this is from VentureBeat, but you've probably seen it everywhere you visit and hang out and socialize on the internet. Basically, there's been a bunch of sexual abuse allegations throughout the game industry, from streamers to game devs, from Twitch to freaking giant gaming websites and not so giant gaming websites. There's been a bunch of all-around douchebaggery by assholes in power, men and women. This is like I don't know what started the
It's
whole ball rolling, but a bunch of
it was
people.
the Chris Avalon.
Yeah.
So like a few weeks ago on this podcast, we talked about the sort of E3 stuff and some of the new games that were coming out, and Chris Avalon was definitely mentioned. He's a writer and a game developer. He's been involved in so many freaking like games over the years. He's a juggernaut in the gaming industry. Like he's been involved since the early, like he might have even been around since the 80s. Like he's been in the industry a long time. He's been involved in probably some of your favorite games. Anyways, and it came about the sort of the floodgates opened, I think, with him being listed on several of these games, that was coming out recently, and they were saying like Chris Avalon is, and anyways, and some people, enough is enough, and they were just like, you know what,
Fuck this guy.
I can't do this anymore. Like here we are, and that was kind of, he was a writer on Dying Light 2, for example. He was involved in the upcoming The Waylanders role-playing game, and obviously those people have both come forward and said that they are no longer associated with him. They've cut ties to him, and he's no longer involved in the projects. And then of course it just kind of, I don't want to say spiraled, because I don't think it spiraled anywhere. I think it just I think it inspired people to
Speak out.
to speak out about
letting
this
these
stuff.
douchebags get away with fucking abusing their power. And in every instance, it's been someone, either a popular streamer or a popular game dev with a lot of power over employees or people that they've met through press events. Like the scenes and scenarios are very varied, but the bottom line is people with power abusing it over others, and it's just wrong. It's douchey and
It sucks.
Yeah, like it's fucking bullshit.
There's the one thing that I will say that, and I don't know, honestly, I was like debating. I had a big conversation with my wife about this last night. We discussed a bunch of stuff, just about all this kind of thing, and like how it's super shitty. And I like the only thing that I will say is like there's the stories from people coming out, explaining like the situation, and some of them are like straight up, it's horrible, and like fucking those people should go to jail.
Yeah, fucking the shit like Pro Syndicate did. Like fuck off.
You're predatory in such a way, and then you're date raping people, and like that shit's got to go. Like it's brutal.
It kills me that these people are so popular, and to be honest, they're doing well off too. Fucking assholes. That kills me that they're successful in life and they're getting away with this douchebaggery. Like fuck them. Oh, it makes me so angry when so many people are busting their balls.
Tons of people in these positions of power, knowing that they can. The thing that really sucks is that the people, some of the other people that like people have spoke out about recently. This is kind of slid over into the comic book industry and stuff as well. Like there's some people in the comic book industry, some huge people in the comic book industry that have been called out this week as well. And fuck, man, like we got to do better. Like we've got to do better.
Why is it that people in power just seem to always get corrupted?
So I don't think that it's just people in power, though. I think that, like, you gotta remember. I think that obviously the people in those positions, like, you end up in a, like getting a big head on your shoulders, and then you end up in a position where you can affect people's lives, and it becomes this shitty quid pro quo thing, right? Like, I think that, hey, you want me to help you launch your comic book, you want me to help you build this game, like I can help you do that. What are you gonna do?
You want me to help your
it's like
streaming career.
And like the thing is that sometimes these situations were two consenting people, and it like it wasn't maybe necessarily quote unquote like
All
a
bad.
date rape, super shitty. But like at the end of the day, like you're using your power in a shitty way to like influence somebody else. And like, yes, the other argument of people is like, well, they could choose to or not to, like I'm not even getting into those semantics. Like that
Yeah.
is neither here nor there, because like I think we've all been in a situation where we didn't want to do something, but we felt like we should, even though we knew we shouldn't. And that's how that shit happens, right? Um, you know, it's it sucks. Like it honestly, like it just like hearing some of the people that, like one of the biggest comic book writers of all time, like Warren Ellis was called out this last week, and like that for me was like, it's shitty. Like it's just, I didn't
Yeah,
even
because
know
these
how
are
to
people you
feel about
respect and like,
it.
and
Well,
you don't
yeah.
necessarily know them, and then you hear this crap, like, oh,
Do you know how many
yeah,
comic books and series and like stuff like that guy's written? Like
yeah,
it's insane. Like you pull up his like list of work, and you like you fall over. Like it's crazy. So it's shitty.
yeah. It is shitty.
And it's of course from there it is move
Sucks for the
forward.
victims.
Yeah, it's
Like,
and
kudos to
like
them for having the strength to come out. I don't know if I ever could if something like this happened to me. Not that it really would, because I'm a fucking white male. But like, that's the
yeah,
thing that pisses me off is people who say, "Oh, they're fucking lying." Like, that fuck off. Why would someone go to their way to lie about most stuff? It happens, yes, but that for the most part, people are telling the truth, and you should believe them and let the facts like come out. And the people who do this shit should be held accountable. Twitch had a fucking kind of wishy-washy fucking statement they put out tonight on Twitter, which I kind of fucking annoyed me because they did the classic in Twitch fashion. Oh, this is stuff that happened outside Twitch. Yeah, but guess what? They're a partner on your platform, so technically they're an employee of you. So what they do off your platform should affect their employment with you. I don't give a shit. Like
yeah.
they're popular, they're famous, and they're paid because of you. So to them to go be a dickhead off just because it didn't happen on camera on Twitch doesn't mean you get a pass on not punishing them. You're not. It's not your fault, Twitch, but you shouldn't enable them to continue to have fans and have success when they're a fucking douchebag. Maybe you have to wait for all the facts to come out, but definitely
I
suspend them
think
in the interim and then fucking permanently ban them later. But none of this slap handy fucking 2 week bullshit. Have some fucking balls. Hold people accountable.
the one thing I will say is that I think that we have to be careful in the outrage culture that we currently have right now, where I think, and I'm not, again, I'm just saying I think that we need to be a little bit careful as well, though, because we're getting like scarily into a world where you're not innocent until proven guilty. You're guilty until proven innocent, if ever proven innocent. And like, and again, I'm not saying that don't believe the victims or anything like that. I'm just saying like I think that we do have to be careful,
Mm-hmm.
like as a populace, and
But when there's been more,
that's,
when it's someone's first time, yes, like Chris Harding, everyone pulled him off the air. They didn't, suspended a lot of his projects, all that stuff, right? And then it came out, and all his stuff came back, right? Like he wasn't canceled. There was some damage done, right, to his reputation.
I
But
just like it's scary to me.
but when it's
Like
not the first time, some of these people, it's not the first time they've done
no,
criminal or
no,
douchey shit.
and
So
like
in
the
that
scary
instance,
thing,
it's like you're done. You're done in my books.
the scary thing with like Chris Avalon and stuff was like apparently he was like blacklisted from like conventions and stuff. And like how is it not, like, you know what I mean? Like it sounds like there's awful lot of people that knew he was a scumbag,
And let them get
and
away
yet
with it.
he somehow, exactly, right? Like
Yeah.
that's shitty. And it's like I do feel that we do need to be careful though, because we're getting, with the culture that we're breeding nowadays, we are getting scarily close to somebody being able to completely destroy somebody else's life
Through.
with an accusation or with, a few people, like, and again, I'm not saying that any of these people, like, I'm all about,
Is there any examples of
like,
that yet,
leaving
though?
victims. Time will tell. There's a few things that I can't really speak about. They're not really of my wheelhouse to speak of. There's like one that I know of in particular that's like,
I think there's a lot of overreacting when people want to cancel people because of stuff they've said. That's one thing.
Yep.
That's overreacting. But these
Sure.
are things people have done, like sexual
Yep.
assault and rape. I'm
No,
sorry.
absolutely.
When you break the law, you deserve to be canceled. Now, being a racist, that's not cool. Do you deserve to be canceled? No, you're a shitty person. Absolutely.
Totally.
But you don't deserve to be canceled, because you can believe whatever the fuck you want. Should be canceled because your religion, because of your background? No, not at all. That's different. But when you break the law and you hurt people physically,
absolutely.
you should be so fucking canceled that you don't even exist.
Canceled. You should be charged. You should.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. The slippery slope of ruining someone's social media career, internet career, acting career because of stuff they said. That's getting a little too far-fetched. That's getting too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, apologize. You said something fucking dumb. That's stupid. You hurt some people's feelings, but it was just words. I think that's overreacting. You know, like how the internet wanted to cancel Colin back in the day, for example, for a fucking joke on Twitter. That's bullshit.
Right.
But like,
and I like in all of this, like I've been looking at a lot of this, and like there's some stuff out there that absolutely those people need to fucking go to jail. Like, as far as I'm concerned, like there's some. But the thing is like I'm seeing other stuff where people are coming forward, and like, and this is part of what I was talking to my wife a bit about. It was like, and again, like I have never been put in a situation like this, so I can't really say.
Yeah, we'll never be in a position like this.
I hope not. But like, there's
one day I hope Geekoholics is big enough that we have groupies and we have to bat them off with sticks. Like, maybe some bad shit will happen then. But
the thing that's, and I say this as more of a culture. This is more come about due to everything that's been coming up now. But like, I'm seeing some stuff from some people. They're showing like text messages and so on and so forth about stuff, and like there's a weird line, I feel like, where some people have been painting a picture on somebody else because maybe they were too forward with what they were hoping to get out of something. Like, for example, like, hey, we were friends, and then he sent me a text message saying like, you should come over and we should do the nasty. And I was like, what the hell, dude? That was completely out of left field. And like, what kind of person does? And it's like, to me, that sounds like somebody who didn't read the room properly. And here's no, hold on.
No, I know what you're saying.
Here's the thing though. That is completely keying on whether or not they said, oh shit, my bad, and left it alone. If that individual said, dude, what the fuck, and that was it, and they never like brought it up or whatever again, that's one thing. Where the line, in my opinion, gets crossed, of course, is when you see the other text where it's like, oh, well, and it's the pressure and the manipulations and those games and like that shit, that's fucking unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that worries me is like, I've seen a handful of stuff where it seems to me like one party or the other one, like they like I said, they read a room bad and or a person bad, I should say, and it came back as like, whoa, what the hell, dude? And the only thing that worries me is like, we are all gonna be uncomfortable sometimes. It's part of life, right? And and again, and I'm saying this as a fucking white male, so I understand the irony here, right? I get that, but like, there's a weird line, I guess, for, and I'm not trying to. I feel like this is coming out poorly, but like, there's a weird line, I feel like, where like,
you know what it is, Dane? It's like anything in text. It's lost in translation. If you're gonna hit on people and you're gonna flirt with people, You really need to do it in person or in video chat or in voice where you can,
That's the thing, right? Like there's a difference between like hitting on somebody and I think this is the problem, right? Is like there's a big thing where like you can hit on somebody, and if they say like, well, "Dude, what the fuck," and you go, "My bad," and you walk away, and that's that.
Yeah, there's some
The
definitely
problem,
creepy stories I read of some of the,
totally,
especially
absolutely.
one of the Destiny streamers, like basically stalking and doing
Oh, that's
weird shit to
unacceptable.
like.
If somebody says no, you get the
But
like,
this is like in person, like at a convention, and like not
yeah,
getting the hint and like saying crazy shit and doing weird shit, and like, dude, you're fucked up.
like so yeah. Anyways, like I said, it's hard to explain. I just think it's a weird. I wish that we lived in a world where people could come forward and that we could make real change happen. And I think that this is, obviously like needs to happen. And these people, a huge part of why they can get away with it for as long as they have is that nobody talks about it and nobody says
Yeah,
anything about
nobody
it.
talks about it. They hold so many people's careers, as
And I
hostage.
think that needs to
Like a
fucking
lot of
stop.
people let what's his nets get along with stuff because they didn't want to say anything because didn't want to put their career on the line.
Right.
They knew it was happening, but they weren't the victim. But they also didn't say anything because they didn't want to get ousted. You know?
I think sometimes too that people need to be called out on their bullshit too.
Yeah, they absolutely
Like
do.
like this week, like we, Fran over at What's Good, like somebody called him out when he was working at IGN, and and he replied back and he was like, "Shit, you're absolutely right. Like I don't even remember those times. I don't even remember those things that I said being an asshole. Like, there were nothing like he wasn't predatory or shitty like that. It was just he was being an asshole and he was being very not he was not he was being super I don't want to say like anti-feminine, but like you know what I mean. Like it was very like they were very inappropriate, stupid things that a man would possibly say to a woman. And if somebody doesn't kind of call you out on that shit, you might not even realize that it was a problem. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, somebody makes a comment or a side comment or like, hey, if you're gonna be doing this, you should do this or whatever. And like, sometimes it takes either the woman or even another coworker, if it's a man, to come out and be like, dude, what the fuck was that on? Like, it's how are you? You know what I mean? And it's like that's the thing. And in this particular case, that's exactly what happened, right? A previous coworker of his like called him out, and he was like, shit, like that is fucking my bad. Like if that's like I do not personally remember this situation, but like if that's what I said, like that is absolutely inappropriate. And I think that stuff's important as well because it helps us grow, right? So
Yeah. It's fuck. Don't be a douchebag. Be better, people. Don't fucking manipulate people. That's the worst.
yeah,
This next story. The Last of Us 2 is Sony's biggest PlayStation 4 launch ever, and the fastest selling game of 2020 so far. This story from Eurogamer by Tom Phillips. The Last of Us 2 is Sony's biggest launch this generation, purely on boxed copies. That's weird. It pipped previous record holder and fellow Naughty Dog game Uncharted 4, which sold fractionally less during its own launch weekend. It's likely many more people downloaded the game, although the UK digital sales are not counted. The Last of Us 2 has dethroned Animal Crossing New Horizons as this year's biggest release so far, with launch weekend sales around 40% higher than Nintendo Switch exclusive.
holy
Games
crap.
for Nintendo's console continue to dominate the top 10, however. Ring Fit Adventure once again spends the week in second place, as Nintendo works to provide more stock of the in-demand workout game. Anyway, they go on to talk about Pokemon and whatnot. I thought the story had numbers, but it doesn't. But Last of Us 2, regardless of all the haters and the leaks and the shit talking and the divisive commentary from fans and reviewers, it's killing it. It's a dope game. Play it.
Word.
So it's not surprising.
No, there's a lot of people that were like super ready to play this thing.
Yeah.
So
This story also from Eurogamer by James Pickard. Joker and Dragon Quest Hero amiibo scheduled for release this autumn. Yeah. there was a Smash Brothers presentation. There's a new character. Min Min is coming to fucking Smash. I guess they announced their Smash roster 2 or group 2. I guess the next group of fighters that they're announcing. But yeah, there's 2 new amiibos, Hero and Joker from Persona. Diggity dope.
Well, Hero's not from Persona.
Yeah, no, sorry. Joker from Persona, Hero from Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah.
And then today was the big Pokemon. Hey, get ready for big Pokemon news next week, guys, after last week's stream with the Pokemon Smile and all that shit. Speaking of which, that Pokemon Cafe game is live now. Are you ready for Pokemon Unite? A new free-to-play MOBA from Tencent. Womp, womp, womp. Not the game I think anyone was really looking forward to.
Crossplay on your mobile phones and your Switch.
Yeah, this story from Eurogamer from Tom Phillips. Tencent Studio is working on a free-to-play Pokemon MOBA named Pokemon Unite, a 5 versus 5 team battler. It sees squads of players with their own Pokemon battling it out in an arena dotted with control points on various lanes. Yeah, it's Pokemoba. Neat.
I mean, it's cool. I don't know how.
I don't think this is the Pokemon game anyone was really looking forward to, but okay. I guess we'll have to wait and see when we get to play it.
Yeah. Did they give a launch day on this? Like, is it out now?
No.
Like, is it,
no. It's like this fall or soon or something like that.
Huh.
There's no date.
Like, it's cute.
No word today on when Pokemon Unite will launch. Anyway, yeah, kind of disappointing. I was hoping to see like the next Pokemon game or like sequel to Sword and Shield, or
I just feel like trying to bust into the like MOBA space right now is like good fucking luck. Like the few that are left are pretty much locked down. And
this is coming after Nintendo's like, oh, we're gonna like, turn down our mobile focus, and then you announce a big mobile game. It's like, what?
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Like,
Xbox news.
So we don't need to really care about our mobile stuff anymore. So
sorry. Moving along, Xbox news. This is not really Xbox news. This is more Microsoft news, but I put it in the Xbox section. Microsoft is shutting down Mixer and partnering with Facebook Gaming. This story from The Verge by Tom Warren. It's a strategic move for the future of xCloud. Microsoft is closing its Mixer service on July 22nd and plans to move existing partners over to Facebook Gaming. The surprise announcement means Mixer partners and streamers will be transitioned to Facebook Gaming starting today. And Microsoft will no longer operate Mixer as a service in a month's time. Microsoft has struggled to reach the scale needed for Mixer to compete with Twitch, YouTube, and even Facebook Gaming, which has led to today's decision. We started pretty far behind in terms of Mixer's monthly active viewers, where compared to some of the big players out there, says Phil Spencer, Microsoft's head of gaming, in an interview with The Verge. I think the Mixer community is really going to benefit from the broad audience that Facebook has through their properties and the abilities to reach gamers in a very seamless way through the social platform Facebook has. Microsoft partnering with Facebook to transition existing Mixer viewers and streamers over to Facebook Gaming in the coming weeks. On July 22nd, all Mixer sites and apps will automatically redirect to Facebook Gaming.
I think this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
This reek of like them fucking walking away. This feels just like their mobile strategy was several years ago, where they bought in, they spent a bunch of money, they just around the time when it started to really kind of take off, they've made some really good decisions. Things were starting to go good. Then they killed all development on everything, and they just watched it coast for a little while, and it didn't take off like they suspected it might, I guess. I don't know. And instead of pushing it along like they should have throughout all that period, they just watched it kind of wither there, and they were like, you know what, we're good. And then they just walked away. And it's just, and now they're looking back going like, shit, we really fucked up with mobile. Like, we should have actually tried harder. And I feel like this is going to be a same thing down the road where they're going to look back and go, man, that was fucking dumb. I and to Facebook, like really?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, like I understand like you and Twitch, like I guess the problem is like your two biggest competitors, Amazon and Google, own the other two platforms. So like even though Facebook is a huge competitor of yours as well, they're the one that's kind of not like completely at total odds with you, but like I don't know, man. Like
I'll tell you this right now, I'm not gonna watch a single stream on Facebook. I fucking hate Facebook.
right. I just it uh, I
Yeah.
don't know. I just like this to me just is like the dumbest thing.
It's awesome for fucking Shroud and freaking Ninja, who got a big payout to go to Mixer, and now they just get to go right back to Twitch.
Well, that's the thing. Like they get paid out full, eh? Like their contract gets completed,
Yeah, it's voided because of Mixer shutting down, so they can go back.
and
That
they're being
sucks. They
paid out.
weren't. That it kind of sucks. They aren't forced to go to Facebook gaming.
Well, I mean, it's up to them, right? They like who knows what they'll do.
Microsoft should have had some like something in the agreement to fucking get them over there. That would have been so awesome. I'm sorry. Like I've gone to Facebook gaming. It's a fucking mess. I hate the interface. I just hate the fact it's fucking Facebook.
The quality is terrible.
And Facebook fucking sucks, man. Like they're just gonna exploit your information. Like it's such a shit platform. Mixer was good. They had awesome tech. They had a good platform. It just sucks they couldn't.
Like I said, like they were like it felt like it was really starting to take off, and then
Well, numbers wise, it wasn't. But Ninja didn't even move the needle. Like, and he lost tons of viewership moving over to Mixer. It's unfortunate though, because to be honest, from a tech standpoint, Mixer was better than the others.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, wait, from a tech and usability standpoint, Mixer was better.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
That's the problem. It's like Netflix. Netflix isn't good. They just aren't they're just the biggest. They're so far ahead of everyone else, regardless of whether they do stuff better or not. When you've got such a gigantic Goliath that has such a gigantic fucking lead and you're leagues behind them, you can never catch up, even if you do stuff better than them. And it's the same situation. Mixer's better, but Twitch has just been left alone for too long.
Though, like they also stopped. They practically stopped development of it like 6-8 months ago. This is what I'm talking about. They right when they started, like right when they kind of took on Ninja and things started to kind of when the biggest amount of people were interested in their platform. Instead of continuing the push, they talked about all of the different things that they wanted to do and all the things they were developing. What do? They laid off half their staff.
From what I heard,
and it like
Ninja and Shroud and these guys were Hail Mary plays to try and save Mixer, and they clearly didn't work out. So the writing was on the wall that they were going to shut down these services. I heard like last year that Mixer was in a lot of fucking trouble. And then they tried to make these plays and it just didn't work out, which sucks because it was good tech and it was a good platform.
Hey man, they're going to roll all that tech into Microsoft Teams, so your Teams is going to be so much better.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. I actually said that's exactly what they're going to do.
Moving along. Public service announcements, we already talked about it. CD Projekt Red's Night City Live's tomorrow. What we didn't mention is our homie Paris is hosting that.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
So you play fucking Division with him.
I've played Division with him on occasion, yes.
You're friends with him through Discord and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's kind of cool. I saw him post on Twitter that he was hosting that. So that's cool. He's a cool dude.
He's a super rad dude.
He's from Gamertag Radio, if you don't know who we're talking about. Free for all? What?
Air Memories of Old is the Epic Games Store game launching, which will be out tomorrow when you hear this, as well as Stranger Things 3, the game.
What was the first one called?
AER, Memories of Old.
Air. AER?
Yeah. AER. It's like a really cool, stylistic looking. It's like islands in the sky, kind of like mixed with. It's neat. It looks really cool.
Memories of Old and Stranger Things 3. Those are the Epic Game Store's freebies. Okay, cool.
Yep.
I almost forgot about those.
Yeah.
Free for all. Dan, you read a comic book. Lady.
I mean, I've read like, to be fair, I've read a bunch of comic
Lady
books.
Mechanica Volume 1 and 2 is what you wanted to share with us today.
Yeah, these are they're a few years old now. Joe Benitez is the artist and creator of these. He's a rad as hell artist. He's one of my favorites. They're both really cool. They're like, the first one is a really cool, like, kind of an origin story, if you will, about the character Lady Mechanica, and she's like,
It looks like steampunk
it's
Lara
like
Croft.
it's like 19 or 18, the late 1800s is kind of when it's based on, like the time frame is when it's based on. It's like the steampunk has been taken to like 11. It allows them to do all kinds of crazy things. The whole story is like, sort of, she has had her limbs replaced with like mechanical hands and feet, and she has no memory of it or why or how or any of that. And
Jesus.
So she kind of like, so volume 1 is this really cool story about her trying to figure out about her past and this and that, all well. She's kind of like a detective almost, like people know who she is. It's like a cool cross between like Lara Croft and Batman almost, but in like this really crazy steampunk world. It's if you have an Amazon like Prime Unlimited subscription, which is like their sort of comic books and books, it's both volume 1 and 2 are included in there. I highly recommend them. They're really cool. I love the art. I love the stories. The second volume is also fantastic. There's like an element of kind of the supernatural in the universe, and sort of some of these weird like yetis and like lizard men and some of that, like some of those ridiculous sort of things that we like laugh about sort of make appearances in these, and it's really done well. Super cool universe. There's a few more. I think there's volumes 4 and 5, I want to say. So I'm definitely going to track those down and keep going. So they were like mini series, so they're kind of complete. Like, so volume 1 is like the first, I think it was like 6 issues, which is kind of like that complete story, and then volume 2 was like that complete story. Really cool though, really cool.
Why did they take her hands and feet?
Like, hey, read, find out. It's fucking cool, man.
I'm looking at images of all the different cool covers.
Yeah, it's
actually,
just
speaking of
such
comics,
a cool.
I read a comic.
What'd you read?
I read the Darth Vader trade or whatever, the one that's for free on the Amazon Fire.
Oh yeah,
it's like it must be a bunch of comics all together, because
yeah,
I read it for like a good
trade paperback.
I think I read it for like a good hour and a half. Like, went forever.
Yep.
It was pretty cool. It's a neat story. I read it on the Fire 10, because we got a 10 we bought a 10 and then we got a free 7. So the 7's for my daughter.
Yeah.
So I'm really contemplating.
Mine, man.
What's that?
That's where I've been reading all of mine. Like,
yeah, they're a neat device. The price is right. I'm not scared if she breaks. I could care less if she breaks the 7-inch.
Yeah.
I'm actually contemplating buying an 8 for myself, because the 10 is kind of my wife's device. She plays games on it and stuff like that. But it was cool reading on it with the cinematic kind of presentation they have, where it goes from panel to panel. Is really neat. I like that. And
also, it helps if, like, my wife has a hard time with comics because she sometimes has a hard time figuring out, like,
what order, because sometimes they zigzag all over the place.
So that's awesome for her, because she can like click on it and then like just swipe to the next one, and it makes sure that she gets the whole picture, which is cool.
Absolutely. And then it focuses on stuff in certain panels and stuff, which is it gives it a cinematic flair to just reading pictures, which is really cool. I liked it. I really like the Fire. I was so impressed.
Yeah, for the money, like it's
Yeah,
it's
$200. Like really?
cheese. It's a killer. I like the 10 because like I use mine predominantly for comic books,
Yeah.
and it's the perfect size for comics, and in the like with the high res and stuff, it's like
That's why
so.
I want
And
an 8 because I like the 7 size wise, but the 7
yeah,
has a shitty screen.
the
Like it's
thing, the other thing I will mention about the 10 is it has a slightly wider screen, which
hmm
works better for comics.
yeah.
Like it's a 1920 by 1200, so it's a 16 by 10, not a 16 by 9. So it's
hmm
not. So it's just that little bit of width extra for reading comic books is much better.
Yeah.
So
Cool. And I got my Apex 7 keyboard finally.
oh yeah, how are you liking it?
It's
Besides
fucking awesome.
miss key presses right now here and
Well, I'm
there.
used to it now. Now I can't type on my. I brought my old keyboard down to the podcast computer here,
Uh huh.
and I can't type on this one now. So I'm starting to get used to because the keys are a little different. So I don't know if Logitech.
Yeah,
I don't.
it's well like every keyboard has like slightly different like
I think these keys are on the Logitech keyboard are shorter, and I think the keys on the Apex might be taller.
yeah. I know the Logitech keys on their mechanical keyboard, there's a much shorter throw. Like it's like a half throw almost.
Yeah, well, it said it was the same measurement of attenuation when I was comparing keys because
Yeah,
I was trying to
that's
decide.
all the attenuation is from the top to where it's going to activate
Yeah,
at versus like the
the
actual
full
throw of
distance.
the
Yeah,
key. Yeah.
yeah, because they actuate at 2, and then the full distance is 4, so it seemed to be the same, but they feel different. But yeah, the Apex looks fucking cool. It's like rainbow colored. It has really cool effects when you punch the keys. There's different effects where it like kind of like spreads out
Oh,
like water from the keys you press. Or there was another one where it's like it goes across the row like horizontally, like kit style. While I punch my microphone. Sorry, everyone that had to hear that loud bang. But it looks awesome. It's a nice keyboard. I really like it. I was worried about the reds at first because it doesn't have the like the midpoint click.
yeah.
But I don't miss it. I played some COD and Destiny, and I played really well, and it felt well. So I'm like, I don't need that. I can live without it.
Awesome.
And it's got the clickety clack. Probably not as
Yeah.
loud as a blue or anything, but
Yeah, mine are. That's part of the reason why I have the same keyboard at work and at home is so that I don't have to try and like remember how to type on both different keys.
yeah, it's trust me. The first day I got it, I'm like, what's going on? I can't type anything. And then it's like now a couple days have gone by, and I've kind of adjusted, and my fingers
Yeah.
are learning the distance on the keys because they were so used.
Uh-huh.
Because I've used this Logitech keyboard literally probably for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Maybe not that long, but for a long time.
It's been a while.
At least
Yeah.
5 or 7 years. So
Yeah.
anyway, the Apex 7, it's a nice keyboard. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's got a little screen. It's got a volume knob. I always like the volume knobs on keyboards when I need that quick media audio control.
Hmm.
Dane,
Yeah.
I think that's an episode 260
260.
in the gigabits and in the ear holes. You can follow me on Twitter at RickF, no K, RICF.
You can come always hang out with me on Twitter at Dane Cody at DAYNECODY.
Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We're Geekoholics everywhere at all the social medias. Follow us on twitch.tv/Geekoholics. Tune in every Wednesday night around 8 p.m.-ish, plus or minus, to see our ugly mugs live, or just subscribe to us in your favorite podcast app of choice. Of course, remember to leave us a review on Apple's podcast app or any podcasting platform or service that allows reviews. It is greatly appreciated. If you know of any that you'd like to share, let us know. I don't think anyone does reviews besides iTunes, and all platforms pull their goddamn charts from iTunes or from Apple Podcasts. So that's the only reason I mention that.
So that's why we have iTunes.
If you don't have an Apple device, download iTunes. Give us a review if you haven't. We don't ask for much. We would much appreciate it. It helps the show grow, find new listeners, and of course, we appreciate it. We appreciate you spending your time listening to us ramble here almost for 2 hours. And of course, we will be back next week. Cyberpunk talk. That'll be exciting.
Yeah.
We might have some other stuff we can talk about next week.
Woo.
Super top secret stuff. Until next
secret.
Yeah, until next week, I'm gonna say we are out.
Go play some video games.
Peace.